Well, I am waiting for materials for that lower shed. I just don't have all the posts. They only had 12-foot posts in stock, and I need some 14 and some 16s. So in lieu of having posts this weekend, I'm gonna do some mechanicing work, and I'm gonna have to do it out on the front apron of the shop because I still have 2 years worth of pig feed waiting to go into the grinder, which needs to get done, but I'm ready to get this truck up and going. We've had it around here for the last couple of years and we haven't had the parts for it. We finally got a part located. The front axle was bad and we finally got a part located and got it picked up, and it's here. And that's the only thing keeping this from being a daily driver for us. A couple things, obviously, like the mirror broke on that heavy snowfall winter. I'm gonna spend the day kind of getting this thing back up in order, and that way we can be driving it. We've sold a couple of the vehicles that we didn't need that were extra, cashed those out basically, so now we've got down to just the 2 trucks, and Everest driving to work now and Ola driving to work now. This will give us our trusty old Suburban back. Got it parked right there, and I'm going to go ahead and get the jack under it, get it up, and then get that axle put in and start checking a few things. All right. Got it all jacked up here, and I'm too short. One thing I don't like on this era, this grill is part of the front bumper. Don't like that at all. And it's a bit of doing to get the whole front bumper off. Maybe we can get enough. Oh yeah. Trying to get my arm in there. Okay. Now. I've changed these cooler lines before, more than one time, and they start to leak here on the crimps eventually. And you just replace them, but that routes from the back of the engine up along the side, over the axle, and then up and into the radiator for cooling. And that is a lot harder to get out of there with that front axle back in. The worst one is the transmission, which is the other one that I'm taking off there, because it snakes back on the other side and then crosses over to the transmission on this same side here. So it's got like a longer path to route around. And you can get them out. It's hard to do without a lift where you can really like twist and turn and feed the thing up, get enough ground clearance, but they pretty well come right out when there's no axle in play. Get it out of there.
I wasn't there for it, so
You were the one doing it. Yeah. Laying in the gravel.
Oh. You know,
Remember that now?
keeping that forgotten.
You've been blocking that part out of you? Of your memory?
Yeah. I'll keep that in the gray zone. I don't really want to do a mechanical one right now.
Yeah, me either.
On the road, headed back to New Orleans. Driving in the country, past old-timey scenes. Big birds were singing in the tall willow tree.
Alright, it's all hooked up. I just need your help, like one person in the car and one person
To tow it?
yeah.
I miss you was written in a message in black, thrown in a van 2,000 miles back. A better time. And how many souls and times that I've told, places that I'd wanna be.
Mark, every time I press the brake, like the whole console shuts off. Is that normal?
Because there's not enough power.
Oh,
It's shutting off because there ain't enough juice to keep things alive.
okay.
What setting have you got the charger on?
10.
Put it up to 40. Now I think the only thing I've got left is the skip blades. Okay. The old girl is back together. Now, just needs a good detail. A few other parts that I want to put on it. Got a broken mirror that I need to replace. Got that ordered. One more hose coming. Some wiper blades coming. Kind of really want to put a little, like a 3-inch lift kit on this thing, just to get a little bit more ground clearance. For now, it's going to be back to a drivable working vehicle. Get it detailed inside so it's good and cleaned up, and get it registered, and we're good to go. Evernest? Is that how you pronounce your name? Evernest? Yeah? It depends.
Close enough.
Okay, close enough. Everett?
Closer than Forest, so.
Closer than Forest? How about Everett? Or, I don't know, Evanist? Yeah, Envious? That's probably closer. Everest and I are just working on cars today. He's trying to get his car worked over and worked on, and I'm trying to get the Suburban cleaned up. The poor thing sat for a couple of years, and we got some mice in it, and that makes a mess of it. And then prior to that, we had children, and they make a mess of it too. So I think I'm going to pull the seats, pull the carpet out, and just power wash it. It's the only way it's going to get real clean. Everest is working on trying to get that engine out. He's learning his way through wiring harness and hoses and connections and things like that. So we're just going to plug away at things, and I'll be working here, so he's got me close by for reference and questions, and let him kind of crash course through it. Got to get the engine out and swapped, and we're just going to go for it. Hook it with your finger like this.
Let me see it from your angle, because I can't see it. I can just see it
Right here.
Yeah.
Hook it with your finger.
That's what I was doing.
Just kidding. You got to work on those mechanical tools, hooked in different directions. All crazy. Found all of our sunflower seeds for our pig feed.
And how many days when I could have stayed instead of just getting up to leave.
Good chickens.
We make time.
There's no way I would have got that mousy smell out of this car without taking that apart. Look at all that nasty. That's a whole pile of nest and bird seeds.
And all the days from now to then, if they never seem to
Couple of
come more to go.
Mummified mouse babies in there. At least one. That's so gross. So gross. We'll get it cleaned up though. Gotta take that other side off now and see how bad it is. This side definitely seemed to be worse than the other, but ugh.
Meet you down the line. Down the line. Meet up down the line.
Well, it's a bit of a hot mess out here right now. All kinds of irons in the fire still, but all these plastics are dried out now. They're pretty much good to go. All these trim pieces, I laid them out here in the sun. The carpets came out real nice and clean. So much better. And all of that is clean, drying out. I'm gonna let that dry out for the next 24 hours maybe. In fact, one little trick that I'm probably going to do is I'm going to come out here and Febreze them and spray them down just so that as it dries out, there won't be any water smell or anything like that, but they're real clean, real clean. I still have piles of seats and a few small trim pieces out here. The center console got cleaned. The seats will get cleaned carefully, and some of the small stuff, especially the delicate like this speaker box and some of that, I'm going to just hit it with a degreaser and a wash rag and clean it up. I've got my carpet pads hanging up over here on the tractor to dry. They cleaned out really nice. They weren't too bad, except for around these cutout edges where the mice could get in there and leave a mess and leave a little. So I was delicate with the power washer on those to make sure I wasn't tearing this thing apart, but getting in there enough to get enough force and flow to push all that junk and debris and mouse urine mostly that soaks in all out of there. I'd have never gotten rid of that mouse smell if I hadn't done this. It'd have been stinking up like that forever, especially once I pulled open some of those panels and saw there were still mice nests and feed and everything pocketed into corners and stuff. In fact, in the center console between the center post between the front door and the rear door, when I opened that cover, there was still a live mouse in there actively trying to do work. So I got a few things moved around and it jumped out when I was getting the last couple of covers out. So hopefully we don't got anything left in there anymore. Then I got to get inside there and clean up all of the corners and pockets and everything all inside the where all the trim covers were covering. Wipe down all the metal. I vacuumed it out and kind of blew it out, but all that stuff, that's basically mousy urine with dust and dirt collecting on it everywhere that it still stayed. So for the most part, it's pretty clean, but I'll get up into here and I think I'm just going to have to get in there with like a bucket and some sanitizing degreaser kind of stuff, a bucket and a scrub brush, and just bucket and scrub and mop and bucket and scrub and mop and work my way forward and get it all cleaned out. The worst thing about these mice, let me just say this real quick. If you get a mouse in somewhere, the worst thing about them is stuff like this. they go crawling across the surface of something. This is all like basically urine. And then the dust settles and collects into it. And so then it just sticks. And it makes this nasty, sticky urine mess that's gross for one. But unless you get in there and wipe that and scrub that, it's not going to come out. It'll never come out. It'll just be there forever and it'll stink forever. I don't want to deal with that. This is such a nice car. And unfortunately, the last 2 summers and winters of being parked allowed them mice to get in here and do whatever the heck they wanted. I don't care how well you do. It's all but impossible to seal up every spot, every opportunity for a mouse to get in. I don't even know where they came in because like where my wiring harnesses come through, they're sealed up with boots. All of my bolt holes are sealed up with boots. I don't know. It's got to be somewhere in either a air intake, probably air intake at the dash or something. I don't know. But they always seem to find a way in. And once they do, you're done. They will destroy a vehicle so fast if you don't do something about it. So I'm glad I've got the facilities, resources, and time to take care of it this way and get it squared up. But we'll get that all clean and polished inside. I'll wipe down and clean up the dash and scrub it down in the door panels. All these little things inside, I'm just going to wash the whole surface of everything I can get to. I did order a 3-inch lift kit, which basically consists of blocks for the back, upper control arms for the front, and a different torsion key to change the position of the front. The upper control arm, I believe, is longer so that it helps it camber vertical instead of cambering in when it drops down and stays at that new 3-inch spot. So, and then we'll put a different set of wheels and tires on there. And I think we'll be in good shape for now. Eventually I'll put something different on the bumpers, but I just need to get it drivable and registered that way. So we're going to get it clean and be ready. Man, so close.
Today I'm working on the Suburban, and Mark got all the carpets and all the seats and stuff cleaned out. Ooh, the bugs. Ooh. But I'm going to have to clean the interior. So I'm going to clean the interior so it could be nice and clean before we put everything back together. Mark says, why don't you back up the Suburban? I'm like, there's not a seat for me to sit in. I'll crash the thing. I'm just going to wash it here. And then that way we can get everything back installed. Oh my goodness. This is where I'm going to clean all the, oh, see just the yellow jackets. Can somebody tell me what their purpose really is other than come out here and tick me off and stuff? I'm going to clean all the plastics and all the dirts underneath here. So when Mark puts the carpet back together, it's nice and clean. Oh, there's a quarter. We'll keep that. All right, chickens. Keep the bugs away from me. I'm gonna call it, well, a day, a night. I gotta go to work, so I'm gonna go get ready for work, but got that all done. We got it wiped down. We still have little creases where little dust and debris needs to get like blown out. So we'll go ahead and get that done, and then Mark's gonna start putting in the carpet and the seats. Well, he's gonna put in the carpet right now, or this part of it.
Just, I want to get the plastics out of it. We got the plastics all cleaned and prepped, so I want to get them out of the open.
I'm pretty thankful that you know how to do this kind of stuff, because I would be absolutely clueless. I would detail the car all the wrong ways. You know what I mean?
Well, probably not the wrong ways, but you do all that work and then you go, it still stinks. Why does it still stink? And then you saw what it looked like inside.
Yeah.
And that's why it would still stink.
The best part is the mice didn't do a lot of damage to the wires.
No, they didn't mess up the wires. They pulled some of the fluff and stuff off of in here, but nothing crazy. Mostly they just pissed everywhere, and, like they do.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to have this back though. This was my favorite car of them all. All right, another day. What's that? Hold on.
I think it's some kind of glue or something.
Oh, glue for maybe like a purchasing.
I don't know.
Well, at first I was like, oh, the chickens got to it. Sorry,
Yeah.
honey.
No, I tried a few times with the power washer and stuff, and I touch it, and it's, I don't know, it feels like a blob of glue,
Yeah.
almost like construction glue. Or
Oh, yeah, I could have. Because we put a lot of construction stuff back here.
something. Okay. Well, I thought it was about done in here and ready to bolt everything back together. Spent a few minutes just wiping down the door panels real good, getting them washed and cleaned up nice, and dash panel and everything. And as I was coming across the top, wiping this stuff down, I pulled down the screen on the old TV player here, and I found all that little residue up there from when it was tipped up, which means the mouse are in the headliners. I guess I'm not ready to bolt it together yet. I guess I'm ready to take the headliner down all apart and clean that out too. My bet is that it's full of poop and all kinds of nasty. Ugh. We're almost there though.
Oh, I ain't gonna live like this no more. Most of my life's been waging war till I found peace. I could have swore what she did shook me to the core, and I ain't gonna live like that no more. Well, I ain't gonna live like this no more. Trouble comes when the barmaid pours another for a man who should have found the door. Oh, when I get going, you can hear me roar, and you know I can't live like this no more. Oh, I ain't gonna live like this no more. Hurting as bad as the years before. Living in a lie I can't ignore. Oh, I had to cut ties to settle the score. And I ain't gonna live like this no more. Lord, I ain't gonna live like this no more. I've been drinking till my body's sore. Ain't touched my bed, just sleep on the floor. But I'ma get on my feet, get on my chores, get some things from the getting store. This old ship's coming back to shore, 'cause I ain't gonna live like this no more.
We're gonna put a lift kit and new shocks on the Suburban.
Yeah. And we know what mud season up here looks like, and we know what winter looks like, so I think it'll just help salvage that situation a bit.
Yeah.
It'll make it a nice car though. We had to buy some shocks anyway, and I'm like, well, we've got to buy shocks, and might as well get the lift kit here. It comes with shocks, and have new shocks and get it up off the ground. So. I overextended that a little, it seems. There we go. There we go.
And you're giving me a 3-inch lift kit?
Yep.
Am I gonna look like
out of the mud a little bit.
Oh, I thought it was gonna look like a baller.
Maybe that too.
You'll have to give me some cool wheels though, right?
Yeah, we're gonna need different wheels and tires because it's gonna have a whole different.
Can I get those spinny ones that
No.
you see in the 90s on Dodge Neons? Remember that?
Yes.
I'm like, Dodge Neon, out of all the cars, they like break down a bunch, but they had the cool, like the most expensive wheels. That's how it was in Alaska, at least.
They always had a $7,000 system in a $400 car.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for not doing that.
Yeah.
But I'll still look like a baller, right? Because you got me a nice Suburban here.
Well, I think that's kind of inherent to your personality anyway, so.
That's true. Logan, is that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark put on some new side mirrors. I think last time I told you guys that my son ran into a sign and busted him and then didn't really quite put it on correctly.
Oh, he did. It just was cheap. It was poor craftsmanship and it broke just from the snow.
Oh.
It's all aluminum except for the plastic part that broke. So like
what kind of mirrors were these? And you got them at a cheaper rate than...
I just got them on Amazon, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Aftermarket, cheap something or other. But the same mirror that we had on there was going to cost me $180 for a replacement, and it was the same chrome, which was a mismatch anyway. So it was going to cost me like $360 to get a pair. So they matched, and I was like not really willing to spend that kind of money for some ugly chrome. I just don't think they look good when they're chrome on this kind of truck.
Uh-huh.
These towing mirrors were like $135 for the pair. So I'm like, well, black towing mirrors is fine. We actually tow quite a bit all the time, all kinds of all of our vehicles basically. So I'm like, that'll be fine. Towing mirrors on this will be just great. Sometimes people don't like the way they look. I wasn't sure if you'd like the way they look.
Oh, they look fine to me.
Helps that they match, huh?
Yeah, it helps that they match. I get a lift kit, towing mirrors. What's next?
Wheels and tires next.
Oh, yay. And then I got to fix the windshield.
Yep.
The body work, I'm not sure if we're going to need to do too much. It works just fine.
It's going to need some stuff. It's not that I care as much about some of the small dents and dings. We've had this Suburban for 11 years.
I think longer than that.
I looked on the paperwork. It said we bought it August of 13.
So 11 years, really.
Yep. But the paint's fading, or the paint's flaking and coming off in spots. And that's the only part that I'm like, oh, we're going to do something about that. And we've got a couple of spots, like this spot back here.
Yeah, I saw that it was kind of bubbling.
Bumbling, yeah. So
yeah.
We're going to probably need to, it's easier to fix it when it starts than it is to fix it after it takes over, you know?
Yeah.
It's like fixing cancer. It's not as bad when you get a hold of it out the gate, you know?
Yeah. Well, as Mark is working on the Suburban, he's trying to get it done before 2 o'clock. That's when Everest gets off of work. And we are going to go see our boys that just recently had a birthday. And we're going to go see Beetlejuice and take them out to dinner. So we're pretty excited to go see our other kids that are a couple hours away. So, and this will be nice because we'll put the whole family in this Suburban, and it's comfortable, and
It's like the good old days.
yeah, just like the good old days. But everyone's kind of an adult, so I think they're going to like the elbow room. Will the back lift will be easier to do or not so much?
It's a lot less involved, yeah. So it should.
Uh-huh.
We'll see. This was actually smooth, real easy. I anticipated some issues, but didn't have any.
You sound like a tire shop. Oh yeah, that's lifted. Look at that gap.
Yeah.
It almost kind of looks funny. I think I do need bigger tires. I think this Christmas I'm going to get you a new shirt. Same logo, but a new shirt, because you've had that for how many years now?
A long time. Kids got it for me for Christmas.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Hey. That's going to roll. Is that going to roll forward?
Only if I do that again.
Well, don't do that again. That's scary. Do you want me to go put the parking brake on?
No, because it's on the back tires.
Well, what do you want me to do?
I want you to be surprised and shocked a little bit.
What?
It's like car, you know.
Well, good thing the Ranger's in the way, because then they'll hit the Ranger.
Obviously, I have no gauge on that.
Okay, let's see if it rolls off the mountain.
It won't, because it's blocked.
Yeah, it's staying put. Good job, Mark. As if you knew what you were doing.
It's not my first rodeo. I said these aren't factory. I replaced them once already. But they're gas charged shocks. They should, under pressure, just kind of extend on their own and don't move, which it still has its dampening to a certain extent because it's resistance to extend and compress, but you can hear it glurping. And yeah, so it's good. That's probably why we threw away the front shocks when we took them out, because I went to put the axle in, I didn't have any shocks for the front. So I'm like, well, but the new kit comes with them, so that's good.
So that's the lift, and it looks like just a block?
Yeah, it's just a spacer between the springs and the axle.
Huh.
Pushes it, just offsets it down lower.
That's kind of neat. Are you okay?
What do you mean?
You're just working really hard.
No, this isn't hard. This is just mechanic.
You want me to get that?
I got another one in my hand.
Okay.
I need to get that other one now. Cameraman's in the way.
It's kind of hard to film like these automotive
That's the thing about
jobs.
it, right?
Yeah.
It's hard enough to see what you're doing, let alone show everybody else what you're doing. See how that wants to come out and extend?
Oh, yeah. So 3 out of the 4 is done, yeah?
That should be moving real slow.
How often do those have to get changed out usually?
when they go bad.
Oh.
There's lots of opinions on that.
So you just like, well, just when they go bad and that's
And
it.
mine is check them and watch them, and when they show signs of being bad, change them. Or if you notice a handling difference, change them. A lot of shocks get replaced unnecessarily, and a lot of shocks never get replaced unnecessarily.
Wait a minute, why'd you get this out?
Get what out?
That! Oh my gosh!
Just the universal wrench, that's all.
Just loosen it or something, or what?
Yeah, it'll get loose here in just a real quick second. Watch.
Oh, jeez.
See how loose that got? Real quick.
You were banging on it for quite a bit, so.
You don't do that if you're going to reuse it. Silly.
Oh.
You got brand new ones.
The universal wrench.
Yeah. It's true. That's what it is.
Is that the last of it?
Yep.
That's pretty exciting. You're even like 10 minutes early, so you can get a quick shower in before Everest comes home.
That'll be great. Just right.
Just right.
We still have a couple of things that we'll have to do. Like, we need to take it in for an alignment now to adjust that front end since we've messed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And double check the ride height on that front end. Make sure it's balanced and equalized where it needs to be. And then get it aligned after that. And get tires and wheels on everything, and then we'll be in good shape.
Well, the 3-inch lift kit is up and it's ready. Let's see if I can get a close up. A new block and the new bolts, but they're up. And then on the front, we've got a lift kit and new suspension. I just started right up, no problem. The tires do kind of look funny, but...
The front's got to come down a little bit. It's pretty tight.
Is it pretty tight? Okay. But it really doesn't look bad. And I'm not a very, picky person. Of course, I always love a new car, but I also really love a reliable car. And this Suburban has been in our life for a very long time. And it's been very reliable for all of our children, so I'm excited to have that up and running. What are you doing?
Adjusting that front.
Oh. Why is it over there?
It's just in the middle. The adjustment is.
I gotcha.
Now, back that up and forward a couple of times.
When I say this, I really don't mean to start like a fight or anything. But finding men like Mark these days is really hard to find. He knows how to do just about everything. Not perfectly, but he knows, and he protects us with everything he's got. He makes sure I have the best vehicle.
That's pretty close. A lot closer, and it's close enough for now.
Okay.
we'll drive it a little bit, let all the suspension settle in again and everything, and then we'll pull it onto the concrete where I can measure it and we'll adjust the right height.
Right now?
No, after I drive today.
Okay.
So it's good enough for now that we can make our drive and do our thing. And then when we get back this, weekend or first next week, I'll pull it onto the flat and double check it.
Okay.
Before we get it in for the alignment.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I sure appreciate it. I gotta show you the interior. I mean, it's clean. This was broken. Mark got that fixed. We got it registered yesterday. Look how clean it is. Just because he knows how to do stuff. This was like a glue. You saw that earlier in the video. But I'm okay with that. That's just like one little thing, you know? I literally have a four-wheeled safe vehicle to drive. I have a feeling that Mark will probably get WeatherTech, but everything looks so good. So good. Well, we just got this Suburban back from a tire shop and we got new wheels and new tires on it. And I think for now we're finished with the Suburban. Mark is thinking about putting a steel bumper on it eventually, and we'll try to do that over the winter if we have time and if we can make it a priority. But other than that, man, that looks good. It looks really good.
I like it.
Let me give you a quick tour of what that looks like.
We got to get a drop hitch.
You said you're gonna need a drop hitch.
Yeah.
Now, how tall is it off the ground now, you think, with the new tires and stuff?
Between the wheels and the
Lift.
kit, it should have come up somewhere around 5 inches extra clearance.
Oh, that's gonna clear some mud.
Yeah. Like at the floorboard, it should be.
The bumper is the only thing that's like kind of. That looks really good. I'll say what, it's cheaper than having a brand new car.
Sure is.
Yeah, and this is an old reliable.
Couple $1,000s into this car, and it's solid for the rest.
For years.
So solid for so long.
Yep.
And we've had it for 130,000 miles that it has, or all been ours. And for most of those miles, I had daily access to shops, so I was like real stupid meticulous about the maintenance and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, you do that to all of our cars. You spend a full, at least once a year, a full like 10 days looking over every single wire and stuff.
Each thing, go through it deep.
And that's what makes it last. Yeah. You're not a parts replacer.
Nope. Definitely not that.
Okay, I'm pretty happy. I'm excited.